What is up, boys and girls? It's your buddy Obi, aka 3X, back on the mic once again with the fourth episode of Show Off, and we're doing another live commentary here. My voice has gotten a lot better from the last video that I posted, where I unfortunately had to give some pretty significant health news. If you've seen that video, then you also already know that I've decided to change my creative focus from the XWA and its many sub-rosters to the Underground Kings story that I had began building on in 2K19 with the Trial of Kings series of videos on this channel. So, moving forward, these show-offs are going to be showing off the characters for this particular story as it is that I create them. And spoiler alert, as you can see, I've been quite busy already getting started with them as far as male characters and females as well, even though you only see 4 at the present moment. It's just a matter of getting into the swing of bringing them forward from 2K19 to 2K26. So in today's video, we're actually going to focus on these 4 particular ladies here, who are all pretty important characters to the story. I would say main characters, if not for the fact that Riot is actually the main character, but these are all major characters in the story particular. So we are going to begin first with Haley Jonas, aka the Hellcat, who I had obviously uploaded a while ago, when it is that I first created her on my other profile, specifically for the XWA roster itself. But this is Haley. I won't say it's the UGK version because it's pretty much the same exact core that I created and uploaded for the XWA. There's no variation in movesets or anything like that. So, looking over here, we have another AI-generated logo for her shirt that kind of emulates her character and setting, story, Motor City, and such like that. We have the revised tattoos that I changed on her in 2K24 because I skipped 2K25. More uniformed, using less of the colorful flash style stuff in favor of more themed looks, particularly with the cats and tigers and so on and so forth. There you see the hair. I decided to stick with the same hair. The Zoe Stark hairstyle fits her pretty well. I was thinking about going with a longer hairstyle, but I still wanted her to look more punk rock-ish, so to speak. So we went with that look. Down on the bottom, got double chains on the shorts. These are different shorts than I have used before. I like the look. I like that it actually has the shorts underneath the shorts to make it look a little less, I guess you could say whorish, slutty, even though that wouldn't be a bad thing on certain characters. But, this is still a T-rated game, so you can't go that far. You can go that far in your own game if you know body skinning and such like that, but we don't do that for every character, just certain characters. As a matter of fact, I really haven't done that because I kind of changed some design philosophy as far as certain characters who use that particular style of attire design. I still will be using it, just not with the person that I had started using it for, particularly. Down down low, you got the AJ knee boots, the knee brace, Stone Cold Steve Austin style, combined with the torn kind of fishnet type stockings. Looking pretty street and pretty punk at the same time. Street punk, basically. Which has always been Haley's style from the moment I created her, way back in 2006. So she is definitely a veteran. She's a legend caw, right on there with the likes of my Riot character, Sarah Warfield, Dako Togo, all those old school caws that I had made throughout the entirety of the WWE games series across the PlayStation platforms. Then looking at the entrance gear, not much different. We got the leather vest, Rhea Ripley style. I did cover the Australian flag with an American flag because, you know, America. And used the older Hellcat logo that I had created, using a variation of the Hellcat logo from Dodge, of their specific engine type that they use on their more iconic vehicles. The Viper, the Ram, Challenger, etc., etc. Kind of a little reference to the Motor City where Dodge is originated from, Detroit, Michigan, including also the more ominous nickname for the Motor City because of its high homicide rates. Probably not as high as Chicago nowadays, but still, it's something that they brag about. You know, I don't know if I would brag about it, but that's just me. Anyway, really simple stuff. I decided not to give her a hat because it didn't really look that good with the hair. It looks better with long hair. You know, this whole tied to the side or shaved to the side look, you can only get away with it with but so many pieces of headgear. Bandanas and stuff like that would work, but she usually comes out with a ball cap to the back or what have you, and it just didn't fit as well as it has with previous attires that I've made. So she's got no headgear for this one. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now I am going to be making an alternate attire that is different from the more traditional wrestling attire that you see here. And as a matter of fact, I'm just going to go ahead and do that in real time here, and we'll fast forward it so you can see the process as it is that I go along with it. What we're going to do is give her the jumpsuit. I've used this jumpsuit on her as an alternative a few years, and it, I believe, is a bit more fitting for the Underground Kings story. So let's go ahead and take care of that. This will be fast forwarded in the video. And I think that pretty much keeps things very simplistic, which is what I wanted to go with here. I was trying to experiment with the idea of the belt, but we can do without it, just make it a street jumpsuit. Now, this is the version of Haley that I downloaded from Community Creations, so since I have my settings to where I'm not able to re-upload any caws that I download, or any caw that you download of mine is not able to be re-uploaded. That means that I won't be able to actually upload this attire edit, but I mean, it's like super simplistic. You can pretty much just follow along exactly as what it is that you saw me just do to recreate the attire yourself, if you've already downloaded her, because you've already got the graphic assets in order to be able to place them where it is that they need to be placed. So let's just have that quick final look here at the jumpsuit. Now, one thing I will say that it's going to be a theme for all of the characters that I will be making for Underground Kings is that one of their attires is going to be more of like a street-based, street combat type of look. Not necessarily street clothes, even though they are street clothes, but something more akin to what somebody would be wearing if they were, say, in a fighting game, like Tekken or Virtual Fighter or something like that. And then the second attire is going to be more the combat, sport type of attire, somewhere between wrestling gear or just an athletic fit, akin to, MMA or something like that. Something that you would see maybe in Baki or Kengan, Omega, Kengan, Ashura, those type of stories, anime, manga, that type of thing. So that'll be a theme that will carry across all of the characters that you will be seeing here. This one is obviously more of the street type of deal. But then again, her regular attire is also the street type of deal, because that's just the kind of character she is. Haley has always been a street, rugged type of non-traditional wrestling character, and it tides over pretty well in the Underground King story. Now, for those of you who have followed, or maybe those of you who don't, real quick character background is that currently she is under the possession of the evil spider demon queen, Jorogumo, and is wrestling for control of herself, as Jorogumo wants to use Haley's body as a new host to replace the old host, Yuriko, that she has been using as a human vessel since about World War II. So, very, very long time. And that is going to be one of the main story arcs within the Underground King story, amongst a few others. And putting that all together will be a lot of fun, actually, because I've got the entire plot story lined up, dialogue and everything. It's just a matter of actually executing, which will be my creative endeavors moving forward on this particular channel. So that was Haley's Underground King's appearance. And next focus is going to be three other very prominent characters within the story. That being the three queens. The Ivory Queen, Isabella Frost, the Black Queen, Lana Lords, and the Red Queen, Carmella Blackheart. We're going to start with Carmella because there are some very significant changes that I've made for her that are similar to changes that I will be making for several other characters that I will be using in the Underground King story. And that change is going to be the face. Now, for the longest time, I've used two faces for Carmella. The first being that of a pinup model named Bianca Beauchamp. And then second, I used a Brazilian fitness personality / TV personality who goes by the name of Deborah Albuquerque. Now, since a lot of what it is that I'm going to be using for the Underground Kings story is AI generated, I didn't want to potentially put myself in a situation where I'm using the real likenesses of actual people in AI generated content. It's just not really an ethical thing. So, for the majority of characters that I have created that have used the facial textures of real people or celebrities in particular, I'm going with imagined faces. Either AI generated or just generic model faces of people that you don't instantly recognize. So, kind of recycled content here. This face is actually a face texture that I pulled from Second Life. If you don't know what Second Life is, think of it as The Sims for people who, like to mod a little bit too much. I guess. Even though the Sims community is pretty mod heavy as well. But I have a pretty big collection of face textures. I have both male and female that I have not used, that I decided to go ahead and use for Carmella to make her face more unique, or should I say just less recognizable to anybody who might know who it was that I was using her original faces for. And that is going to be something, like I just said, that I will be doing for several other characters, like Riot or John Payne or JC Jones, who have used the face textures of George Clooney, Keanu Reeves, and Kobe Bryant specifically. The UGK versions of these characters are going to be using different faces. And there's only really one exception that I'm making to that rule, that being Vasily Rasputin, who will still be using the face texture of Scott Adkins, because that character, if anything else, is more of an homage to the character Yuri Boyka from the Undisputed series. So there's no real need to change that face because it has purpose to it. So anyway, getting back to the street attire here, she's definitely looking a lot more sleek here. I decided to go with more of a street level type of look for her because she is such a prominent figure within the underground setting of my universe here. You can feel free to go back and watch the King and Queen lore retrospective that I had uploaded last year for more on that history. So, less of a corporate look than I have had her looking as in the past, as being the general manager of, not general manager, president and CEO of the XWA. So she's obviously relinquished that position to focus more on her duties within the Blackheart Foundation / Monarch. So she's going to be featured a lot in the underground story arc of this series, if you will, as well as having some parts to do with the Jorogumo arc of the story, particularly involving Riot and, to an extent, Haley Jonas. That's pretty much the two main arcs of the Underground Kings as it is that I have planned. The Jorogumo arc the Queen of Spiders, and the Underground arc / the Grand Game, which I'll elaborate on when I get to it, when the proper explanation needs to be made. Basically, when I talk about Isabel. Anyway, pretty cut and dry. Just a combination of different parts. You got the Nikita Lyons bodysuit, which looks very, very good on her form, and just it works for the type of effect that I wanted to have for her, which, like I said, is something akin to how a fighting game character would look. I thought about adding some logos. I might, maybe, insignia of some kind to signify her standing as the Red Queen. You have family crests for each family that I might incorporate somewhere. These are very, very early works here, but just really good combination of parts here. Kind of, proving the fact that you don't necessarily need to have a whole bunch of graphics, bells and whistles and such like that to make a good-looking attire for your call or character. Then attire number 2 is her battle dress, I guess you could call it, combat uniform attire. I may make some changes here. I was kind of feeling the stringies on the armbands there. I think those are Liv Morgan bands. But I might change that up or remove them and have her in something more akin to like gauntlets and such like that. I was going for looks that kind of fit the personas of the characters and their placement. So Carmella is a very effective striker and kind of underrated in that respect, because for the longest time I've used her as a non-combatant up until the Trial of Kings, when it was revealed that she is in fact a very, very, very powerful individual. And I wanted to kind of showcase that in a way that doesn't make her look too super powered, but at the same time, she does look like she can throw down. And I think I have kind of nailed that look here. Even though, like I said, I may make some tweaks here and there when I get to the final product. As far as your entrance gear is concerned, I had to go with a long robe. I wanted to use something high collar, but again, you can't use any high collar clothing with any long hairstyles, which is absolutely ridiculous. I've complained about that one too many times already, so we'll just leave that conversation alone. And you got the crown going on, or a headdress, so to speak. This is the best I could come up with, or the best I could think of. I wanted to give her a crown or a headdress. All 3 of the queens have some form of headdress on in their battle gear or on their attire somewhere in general, basically to symbolize their standing as the 3 queens and each individual color. And this is the one that I think looked best on her, because the other choices that I had kind of stood out a little bit too much. And in Carmella's case, I wanted it to be something that is noticeable but not overpowering. So I don't know whose headdress or piece this is for, but it works, so we went with it. I don't know who the robe is either, but again, just piecing things together, and overall, it came out pretty darn well. Just like with the Avatar, I could add some more graphics if I wanted to, but that is not really necessary in this case. And yeah, that is the UGK version of the Red Queen, Carmella Blackheart. Now let's take a look at the Ivory Queen, Isabella Frost, who has definitely gone through some appearance changes, variations that were necessary, unfortunately, in order for me to be able to get the look that I wanted to get. Now, when I first created her, when you last saw her in the Trial of Kings tournament, her choice of attire was very, how'd you say, provocative. So mainly for the purpose of being able to use her with AI generated content, because they do have filters and they won't allow certain levels of dress or lack thereof to be used. I had to give her more of a, how you say, clothed look, but still in keeping tune to the, white queen type of vibe, that pure angelic innocence type deal, even though she is anything but. So we went with the outfits because they're obviously pretty good use when you combine them together. This is, I believe, a Bianca Belair attire. I'm not sure. I'm only saying that because you got the, it looks like lips or kiss symbols on the leggings there, which is a Bianca thing. But I don't know. You tell me in the comments if you remember or know who this is, or who this belongs to. All white with the platinum chains. Very nice effect there. Got a combination of the Blake Monroe arms with some arm gauntlets. I never know who it is that these actually belong to. I just use them because I see them and I see elements that can work for the character, and I put them all together. Then the boots, obviously, high heels, diamond studs. I wish I could make them more shiny. Like, they have the glitter effect, but it's not glittery enough. I want these things to actually like shimmer without having to use the glow effect. But, it works, graphic limitations and such like that. And then, of course, the most dramatic change on her is the fact that she has much shorter hair than the 2K19 version of her that I used in the Trial of Kings. It does work because it symbolizes a passage of time between that story and the Underground King story. But then also, like I said, it is an unfortunate revision that I had to make in order to be able to utilize the high collar clothing for entrance gears and such like that, which sucks supremely that you have to make such a dramatic change just for one little article of clothing that is not even going to be seen 100% of the time on that particular core or character. That's just, okay, I said I wasn't going to say it, but I will say it again. It's just a testament to how incompetent 2K is with optimizing their game. And y'all can miss me with the whole thing about oh, well, they don't have enough time because they have to create the games year after year. They don't have time to, fix anything, but they do have time to add stuff, and paywall it and all that jazz, but they can't fix polygon counts on their models in game. Okay, we're done. We're done ranting. On to the entrance gear for first attire. I wanted to keep it pretty simple, not remove emphasis from the actual attire. So we went with like this short coat type deal. Now we're going to do another real-time edit here on the entrance attire because I really want to give her one of these military style like captain hats, like Chelsea Green or Gigi Dolan. I think I'm gonna go with the GG one because I can match the color here perfectly. More real-time edits. We're gonna change the jewels. Let's see if we can make the brim white as well. And then see if changing the material is going to make the color brighter. And yes, it did. Success. I like it. I like it a lot. We just completed the look right there. Very, very uniform. She's got this kind of like playful, militant type of deal going on here, which is kind of a theme of her new persona evolution character. So that's attire number 1. Attire number 2 definitely has a kind of 1930s flapper type of look to it, thanks in great part to the headpiece here, which is precisely a flapper type of headdress. And then we got the 1930s do, the curly do-over, which again I had to go with because that was the only way I'd be able to use the coat. And I really wanted to use the coat. She had to have some kind of gaudy, over-the-top look for one of her looks. So we won't say this is her battle dress because both of them are pretty similar to each other. And Isabella is the type where she is more of a manipulator and has other people fighting her battles for her. But in those rare occasions where she does have to throw down, she can. So this is the Charlotte robe here that I had on a promotional piece that I put on my X account, Twitter if you're nasty. And you can see here why it is that I made the sacrifice of giving her a haircut, because this just looks phenomenal. It's just too bad that you have to sacrifice so much to get that look going. But I'm not going to complain too much, or at least not any more than I already have, because the end result is pretty damn good, if I do say so myself. So we're satisfied. We're not going to complain about the look. We are going to complain about the process to get to the look, however. And so here's our updated version of the Ivory Queen, Isabella Frost. I did say I was going to talk more about her story arc, didn't I? with the grand game. Well, that's her basic plan, pretty much. After she failed to seize control of the title of Red Queen, she is now focused on a new empire, so to speak. A new kingdom, that being the underground itself, and trying to take it over and transform it into her own little game that she calls the Grand Game. That's all I will give you for now, because obviously that is the main point of an entire sub-arc of the series. You have to watch to see how that all plays out. So last but not least, there is the Black Queen, Lana Lords, who is also the leader of the judges of the Monarch Consortium, who are basically enforcers, peacekeepers, and keepers of what is called the rule of law. That being the codes, rules, and bylines of the consortium that all members must follow, lest they suffer extreme consequences. And you can already see here from the preview that she's got probably the two most very different and distinctive looks of any of the three queens, with good reason. So I changed her primary attire from the one from the promotional poster that I put up for her, because I wanted one of the attires at least to show off a little more of her body. And this look here, this is a Liv Morgan attire here, the one piece. It gives me vibes of overall the evil Dark Queen, who is the main antagonist of the Battletoads games. I'll see if I can put up a picture of her on screen. The old school version Battletoads, not the remade one where they went woke and turned her into a freaking Cartoon Network character. But that version, the 90s version of the evil Dark Queen, was basically built off of the template of Jessica Rabbit. Very ravishing, very well put together. And Lana definitely gives that type of look here. You got the veiled belt on the back, which she will actually fight in, which is kind of cool. The fact that they actually, have some of these that you can use in match and not just for entrances. Definitely gives her more of a gothic queen type of look than just the attire itself. But I mean, you can just look at her face texture and see that this is a woman who lives in the shadows. And she most certainly does, because that obviously fits her persona, being of the judges, who are kind of a unknown but powerful entity even within the ranks of the Monarch Consortium. They are probably the most feared group in the entire entity, aside from the King of Fear himself, with good reason, because they obviously operate in very, very, effective and brutal ways when necessary. And Lana herself, being a honorary judge, can throw down with the best of them. In addition to being a judge, she is probably the most skilled combatant hand to hand of all the three queens, which, considering the fact that she's been hardened through battle for as long as she's lived, which is well over a couple of centuries. She's very, very well adept in the art of combat, warfare, and violence. And that is something that I'm going to be emphasizing a lot more as I utilize her character. So the entrance gear is pretty much the same. You know, she wears the same attire, pretty much. Same thing goes for the alternate attire, which you could definitely call a battle armor dress type of thing. This here is representative of how the Black Queen goes out onto the field when it is necessary for her to do so. So she, as well as many of the judges, has incorporated a new form of magic called nanotechnology, which is pretty much the entire battle suit here. So in terms of specifications on the field, it would be bulletproof, heat resistant, all those special things. Then she's got these bionic arms, which are a combination of two different parts that were already in the game. You put them together and they look freaking awesome. This would augment her striking capabilities as well as physical strength. Now, I say all this also given the fact that she is a master of the black arts and utilizes a very, very specific old ancient black magic. And on top of that, she uses the latest in combat technology. So like I said, she's definitely a very, very dangerous individual to deal with. And that is something that I'm going to be emphasizing in her role within the Underground King story. As it stands, she will be initiating what is called a punishment order onto the Monarch Consortium post-Trial of Kings tournament, because there were a lot of rules that were broken throughout the course of the tournament, and she feels as if those are unforgivable offenses, especially those in the case of the Ivory Queen and the ones who associated themselves with her through the tournament, that being the former judges Gunner and Bloody Mary, as well as several other individuals. So she's going to start things off on an absolute rampage, and I guess we could call it a subplot of the Underground arc is going to be Carmela trying to stop her two sisters from destroying everything as they try to destroy each other. Gonna be very interesting. So I'm going to try to see if they have a similar suit like this for the male call characters. And if that's the case, I'm going to try to emulate this same exact look for some, not all, but some of the other judge characters that I will be creating specifically for this story. The main judges, pretty much. Kevin Lassiter, Roland, Asia, and the other new judges that will be replacing Gunner and Mary. Obviously, I'm also going to be making Gunner and Mary in their post-judge forms. They're going to be having different affiliations. I won't give those away. But, yeah. This is like a really, really simplistic, yet absolutely awesome look here. And once again, proving that you don't need to have a whole bunch of graphics in order to create a really dynamic looking appearance. And I would say overall that the characters that I have created thus far here for the UGK story specifically are probably the most dynamic that I have made. And that's saying something because a lot of the XWA caws that I've made have been pretty damn cool in their final products. So it's just a continuation of that, just with different execution, but the effect I really like. I'm definitely liking where this is going, and like I said, I can't wait to put it all together in actual production form after I get all of these creations out of the way. So yeah, that is the first 4 female characters of the Underground King story. They will not be the last, but in my next show-off video, I'm going to showcase the male characters, or specific male characters, in particular these 3 guys right here, 1, 2, and 3. The foundation, if you will, of the entity that is the legendary School of Hardcore Academy. And yeah, definitely some differences between the versions that I have shown in my previous show-off videos between Jason Jones and Riot, and then John Payne here, who is actually going to be making his return, because the last time that I made him was in 2K19, and you can definitely see some very, very big differences between that version and this one. But we'll get into that in the next show-off video. So this will be the part right here where I once again thank everybody for their support, and yeah, like I said, really looking forward to this. Changing my focus to give myself a little bit more creative purpose as I enter the unknown. What I do know is that I definitely wanted to tell this story, and it's going to be a fun process, as challenging as it may be to make it happen. And I hope you guys enjoy the final product when it comes around, or as it comes around, because this is going to be an ongoing thing. So that being said, all the usual stuff: like, share, subscribe, bell notifications, all that jazz. And thanks for watching. Until the next time, this is Obi, aka 3X. I still don't have it in my throat to say see ya in my usual way, so I'll just say see ya.